Hi everyone, this is Rob, and I'm going to be your instructor for this course. This is IT820 designing and developing web-based instruction. It's great to see some of you again. I looked at the course roster, and some of you I've had previously, and some of you are new. But what I'm going to be doing is kind of walking you through an overview of the course so you can kind of take a look at it and get used to it. Hopefully be very brief. Um, this course is designed to intended to help get you acclimated to. The title says web-based instruction, but really, for all intents and purposes, we're talking about e-learning or online learning course content. So it's kind of an older term to say web-based instruction because pretty much everything is web-based these days. But the introduction to the course, for those of you who have been before, you'll know that I arrange my course very similar each. Let me switch over to student view for each of my courses, so it's very sort of predictable. It has kind of a standard flow cadence to it, very simple. I try and reduce the overhead for students so you don't have to waste a lot of time getting in and trying to find things. The landing page, launch page, has shortcuts to each of the modules, plus shortcuts to some of the content areas. I arrange everything in modules. I'll go through that in just a second. This is a little bit about the syllabus. I'm just going to very quickly go through there. You'll take a look at this at your own time. Just a little bit about me. I am the Director of Instructional Design at Wichita State University Campus of Applied Science and Technology. It's called WSU Tech. I oversee a team of instructional designers and media specialists. I used to work at ESU, but as of October of this last year, I switched over to a different position, so that's why I'm there now. Let's see your standard stuff. You can take a look at this in your own time. The textbooks, I use open educational resources. That's why you didn't see a textbook to purchase for this course, because there is none. I want you guys to save your money. I'm kind of a big believer in not having you buy textbooks. So everything is open educational resource. There's the probably one of the more important parts is the course structure. There's 180 points for assignments, one for each of the modules. There's 9 modules. Some of the modules span 2 weeks. That's why it's a 9 module for a 16-week course. There's a participation conversations. There's 10 of those, which includes the introduction. So there's 20 points for that as well, and those are 200 points. Quizzes, those are not graded. I add those throughout. I sprinkle those in just to sort of help with formative and reinforcement, but they're not graded. Then the big thing is the final project. That's 150 points for the project and 50 points for the video walkthrough for a total of 200. So the culminating project in the course is going to be to develop your own e-learning course using one of the products that I introduce you to in this course for a total possible point, total of 580 standard grade breakdown. Rubrics are here. The calendar is sort of roughed out. I typically lean into the Canvas environment for the most active and most current because I go through and I change things in there. Here and there I'll add some different resources or tweak things. And it's just easier to keep everything up to date there as opposed to circling back and having to do updates in 2 places. So I just say refer to Canvas for the most updated information in terms of the readings and the videos. But this will give you an idea in terms of the weeks, the topics that we're going to be covering, and the assignments that are going to be required for each of those. I have opened up modules 1 through 4 initially. I'm going to be opening up rather the other modules just as soon as possible. I hope to have those opened up by the end of the month. I want to try and open up as much of the course in advance as possible so that you don't, if you want to work ahead because you've got some time on your hands, and you can do so. Each of these first 4 modules is 2 weeks. Actually, the 5th module is that way as well. And then we get into the 6th module. We start to back down to, these are 1-week modules. 6, 7, 8, 9 are going to be 1-week modules. 10 is the final culminating module. You have 2 weeks for the final project to work on that. So, but some of the topics we're going to be covering, just so you can kind of get a glance ahead. The Definitions is the first one, design development, then we're going to get into learning experiences, course tools. By the way, design development also has to do with project management. A little bit about the profession, quality assurance, assessing learners, inclusive design, corporate e-learning, and the final project, as I mentioned. And the rest, that's sort of boilerplate stuff you can take a look at on your own time. The courses, the modules rather, are all organized very similarly. We start off with a starting here, getting acquainted. This is about the course. You can take a look at the course objectives and the module objectives if you want to do that on your own time. This is what we call Module 0. So this is where you can learn about the learning tools. You can meet a little bit about me, the technical requirements for the course, the support policies, Zoomikit, support services if you need them, and then there's an important 20-point video, introduce yourself using Flipgrid. Then we get into the first module, and you can see there's some overlap between the first module and the second module, or the 0 and 1, because I don't want to spend 2 weeks just on that. And each of the modules kind of has the same sort of rhythm to it, as I mentioned. So there's the outcomes are here, and then a glance at the activities is listed here. And those are broken down further inside the module itself. Each of the modules has tabs across the top, so you don't have to go from page to page to page. You can just kind of simply tab across. There's the readings. But the key takeaways align with the read time, the references, and the link to the reading. And then the modules are all the same. The videos, rather, are all the same way. So you can take a look at those. Some are optional. If you want to do a little deeper dive, then I encourage you to read or view or read. I have optional readings as well to take a look at those. Then we go over to the written conversations. I put the prompt and the requirements for that, and then the written assignment typically comes up next. And then finally a summary. Gotta move my recorder here. So each of the modules follows that same thing. You may see some modules which have, for example, if I go into course tools, in this particular case, there are 5 tabs. I've got the lecture, if you will, the readings, the videos, then I have links to the course authoring tools, and then any other additional resources or links or information that you may want to take a look at. These are the authoring tools I put links to. These are the ones you're going to want to become somewhat familiar with. I am going to encourage that you do not use Wix or Weebly or any of those tools for your final project. To me, that's kind of the easy way out. No corporate jobs that I've seen look for Wix experience. It's just not something that they use. Wix is it's almost like a homepage development tool is really what it is. You can fudge it to kind of make it seem like an e-learning tool, but it's really not. So Wix is not allowed, Weebly is not allowed. Instead, you're going to use one of these tools or something that you find instead. Now, some of them have a trial period, so like a 21-day trial, and that's what I'm going to want you to take advantage of. Not pay, don't pay anything, but hopefully you'll have enough time in that 2 weeks to be able to use the trial. Now, some of them are 7-day, 14-day, 30-day trials, sort of depends. The tool that most people, some of them are free, by the way. Some of them are free for life. Like this is free for life, Adaptive View. H5P is free for life. Course Hub's free. Adapt Learning is free. All these are free. So those are ones that you can take advantage of, and you don't have to worry about a time limit. Articulate, though, is the tool that most people use, and this is the one that you're going to want to probably choose. I would encourage you to choose because when I look at job postings, and I will share job postings with you, about 80% of the corporate market is looking for Articulate experience, to particularly articulate storyline. There's really well, there's more than that, but there's really 2 primary products in Articulate. There's what's called Rise and Storyline. Rise is super, super easy. It's so easy, it's almost novice, really, to develop something, which is kind of cool looking in Rise. I'm going to encourage you to push yourself and see if you could actually develop something in Storyline. So it's a little bit of a steeper learning curve, but That's a skill set that people are looking for. Again, you're going to have some time to actually develop that as well. But the reason you want to be kind of judge this very carefully is because of that time limit, that trial period. So if you choose one of these products like Articulate with a 30-day trial, I don't want to open that up too soon and you download it, start using it today, and then your 30-day trial is done in February and you can't develop anything. So that's what I don't want you to do. So you have to be pretty measured. You want to make sure that when you're ready, and you gauge that 30 days very carefully because you only have 30 days. And once it expires, You're done. So you're going to want to sort of back your dates back up from the time that you submit it to the time that you started. So you'll probably be downloading and starting your project sometime in April-ish, somewhere around there. And I'll let you know more about that when we get closer to that. But all the rest of the modules are set up very similar. There's kind of a fun one coming up in Module 4. I actually am kind of interested in this new tool which just come out called Chat GTP. You may have heard about it. It's a artificial intelligence chat engine. And I actually designed one of the assignments based upon a prompt to Chat GTP. I put in a prompt, and this is what it spit back out. It's kind of interesting. There's people that have designed entire courses, syllabi, everything. Books, chapters, it writes code, it does language interpretation, it does mathematical expressions, it does just about everything. If you've never heard of it, you're going to try it. So at Module 4, you're going to get a chance to try it, come back, and then share your experience with everybody. So that's hopefully going to be a fun activity as well. So that's the way all of the modules work. It's the same rhythm. There's an overview, there's a didactic portion, there's a conversation, there's an assignment, and there's a summary. Pretty straightforward. Really, the big thing is all of this is going to lead toward that final project, which is what you're going to really be focusing on. Again, don't start it too soon. Don't get out over your skis and download it tomorrow because if it's one of those trial ones, because you're going to find that you've kind of run out of rope and you don't have enough time to finish your project, which is not good. By the way, there are a couple of these I mentioned that are free. Another one that if you're interested in a free for life, it's called Is Easy. It's a very popular product as well. Free for one user for life. You don't have to pay for that. It's got some limitations, but it doesn't have one of those restrictions on it. So that might be a tool to if you can use Is Easy, then you can use Articulate or some of the other ones. iSpring has got a free version which installs into PowerPoint that you can use as well. So be thinking about that. And that is about it. So I'm going to wrap up this recording, and I will see you all online.